everybody, welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Before we start the news today, real quickly, yesterday, a lot of questions were in the comments about Microsoft, Activision Blizzard, Bethesda, all that stuff, Sony and what role they have to play in all this. And while I've been talking about it for a while, I definitely don't expect y'all to go back and pick up all the pieces of what I've been saying. So I'll simply say this. Adam Conover has a really great breakdown of kind of the vibe, linked down below. It's a TikTok video. It's, 2-3 minutes, very short, but to the point, and kind of gives a summary of Microsoft's buying power and what they're attempting to do versus what Sony has done in the past when it comes to buying up various studios and such. And it's very interesting. I'll just send you that way if you're interested in more. But that's not today, because today in the news, CD Projekt Red is apparently trying to repair their image with fans after the lackluster launch of Cyberpunk 2077. In an interview with GamesIndustry.biz, CDPR's Michal, a good friend of mine, I'm very biased towards him, just letting you know, shared, after the release, it was tough, but I knew that we had the same people. The gamers are the same. We just need to fix our relationship. The only thing we can truly do is just deliver what we are capable of. I have a feeling that soon we will be able to do that, and hopefully that will be a new beginning for everyone. And since the game's rocky release at the end of 2020, which, oh my god, has it been 3 years? Oof. Anyway, since then, they've put in a lot of work to do different patches and have various content added to the game, including stuff from the Cyberpunk anime, which was insanely popular. They took that and they put little Easter eggs and things in the game. But let's be honest, the true test of redemption for them is going to be if they can deliver on Phantom Liberty. Almost 3 years ago, CD Projekt achieved a critical mass of negativity. Yet the reaction from the team wasn't to despair, but to roll up its sleeves and get to fixing it. That process will always be ongoing, but the launch of Phantom Liberty will hopefully be the first sign of a studio that's desperate to right those wrongs. And look, I'm biased as shit. I'm in the game. I'm in actually a few CD Projekt Red games. I have many friends who work there. They are good people and they work hard, and all of them saw what happened with Cyberpunk and were like, we got to make this right. And I think that is something that very few studios do, but when studios do it and they put their effort into it, we've seen examples in the past. It's not just CDP. No Man's Sky is a great example of a launch that everyone was like, what the hell is this? And then they busted their ass to make it right. And I think CD Projekt Red really wants this one to shine. Having played Phantom Liberty, not all of it obviously, but a sizable chunk, there's a lot of changes. So many changes that if you were thinking about, I'll go back to the game, give it another shot before the launch of the expansion, I would even probably say just play it all when the expansion launches, because it's that overhauled and there's that many different things in it. And it's really impressive what they've done. Again, I'm biased as hell, so, take what I say with a grain of salt, but I'm really looking forward to it. In other news, The Sims 5 looks like it's gonna be free to play? This news comes in the form of what I would consider the very ironic head of monetization and marketplace job listing posted by EA and Maxis. Among other responsibilities, this role will handle Project Renee's, the code name for Sims 5, in-game marketplace of content, and UGC, free and paid, and pricing of all content in this free-to-enter game, ensuring that we have an optimal pricing and content architecture. Now, the most surprising element here isn't the fact that The Sims 5 is following this trend of monetization and free-to-play. No, it's free and paid, as there's user-generated content in the marketplace as well. The Sims modding community is huge, and EA and Maxis are finally trying to work in a way to support content creators in the game. And I guess that's a huge step for the series, but the fact that the job listing says free to enter is so twisted, because it isn't free to play, y'all. It's free to turn it on and be in the world, but that's about it. That's so messed up. Just the phrasing is some dystopian hellscape version of a video game. I do not like it one bit, but not that it matters what I think, because as we've seen, especially with The Sims, people will buy so much content worth of crap for that game. Just hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they make so much money on it. The consumer has spoken, I guess. And finally, Final Fantasy XVI has sold over 3 million copies since its launch a week ago. Here's the thing, that could either be great or not so great, depending on who you ask. According to Video Games Chronicle, the figure means Final Fantasy XVI is roughly in line with Final Fantasy VII Remake's launch, which managed around 3.5 million copies in 10 days. However, that was on PlayStation 4, which had a far larger install base than PS5 does now. So that actually kind of makes 3 million sound fairly impressive. Of course, folks are comparing it to Final Fantasy XV, which still remains the fastest selling entry with 5 million units shipped and sold digitally back in November 2016. However, that was across multiple platforms. But comparing 15 and 16 is like comparing apples to Trader Joe's frozen cheesecake. Like, one of those is widely available and the other was only available on a certain thing. You know what I mean? The real question here is going to be, what does Square Enix think? Because Square is the big question here. Because as we know, Square Enix has an issue with selling millions and then being like, didn't do what we expected. So I think that's going to be the real sign if this is a winner. What do they think? Most of the time when they complain about numbers, it's usually about their Western branch. Well, they sold off the Western branch, so we'll see. We'll see if 3 million is enough. Maybe they needed 5, right? I don't know. We don't know how much money went into this game. Square Enix has always been a little crazy when it comes to like, we sold 5 million, it was a failure. I don't know, but I have a feeling we'll all find out very soon. In the meantime, I and many other people are enjoying the game, so it's a win for me. Anyway, that is it for me. Thank you so much for all the comments and likes and subscriptions. Speaking of subscriptions, we're almost at 1 million. We may cross over to 1 million as I record this. That is just, I honestly did not think we'd ever be here. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I'll see you tomorrow for another episode. 5 Minute Gaming News.